Hello! Today we are going to be trying fixing this absolutely beautiful vintage MacBook Air. This is a very early model, I believe 2.1, and I've got problem. I installed the original operating system, the latest that is supported by Apple, and it is really slow, too slow for the Core 2 Duo CPU, so most likely we've got a thermal throttling problem, which is very common for all those vintage machines because the thermal paste basically turn into solid and it's not doing job that is being required to. But before we are going to be replacing our thermal paste, let's just take a look how beautiful that machine looks even today in 2025. It is extremely thin. Just take a look at the thickness of that machine. Even modern computers can be ashamed of this. And the Apple had to mount the full-size USB port in that flap because, as you can see, you do not have enough space. We've got like a mini display port, or that could be like a different technology, but it is very similar plug. We've got a full-size USB and our headphones jack. And what is also interesting, our charging port is on the bottom. And here you've got your model number just in case you would be interested. So let's begin our operation. Working on those older models is absolutely beautiful job, and that's because we require only one single Phillips screwdriver. So yeah, this is absolutely, I would say that was a good design with like a right to repair, but no, and that's because the memory chips are directly soldered to the motherboard, so there were a lot of faults. So let's start to undoing them, and it is going to be very good to have tray like this, because some screw have got a different length, but they are on the back. So as you can see, I put them as they were, and on the front we've got those short one, on those edges we've got like a medium length, and the center one are the longest one. Here we've got two metal clips, so we are going to be sliding our panel into that direction, just like that. Here you can see them, and for the reverse process we are going to be starting from the front, sliding it like this. Here we've got our fan and the heat pipe, so we are going to be removing this whole block, and we are going to be using for that exactly in the same screwdriver. So this is going to be extra simple, and I believe all those screws are exactly the same. And do not forget the center one. So we go like this, and now we can safely remove it. And we can lift it up just like that. And as you can see, it doesn't look really good. So we have to clean it. And we also have to spray some air to dust off those clogs. Here we've got some dirt, so let me do it. Let's start the dust off operation from that part. And then we go to our fan. Make sure that you are prevented from spinning. Let me take a look. I believe it is nice and clean. And just take a look how beautiful this hard disk drive, this is mechanical spinning rust. It is much smaller than a regular 2.5 inch. Absolutely beautiful. And here we've got our horrible solder memory. And if you've got problem here, then basically your whole motherboard need to be thrown out. So not good. And here you can see how stiff it is. So let's clean it with isopropyl alcohol. Most likely one of those two is GPU and the other is going to be CPU. It's hard to tell me which one. Yeah, that's going to be GPU. I can see the NVIDIA logo. So yeah, it is pretty beefy one. Let me suck it. A little bit more cleaning. I think that's all right. And we also need to clean it here. Yeah, it is very stiff. That had definitely a bad thermal conductivity. Okay. We are cleaning that. And that's the way to go. Let's add a little bit of thermal paste. Just a tiny dot. Yeah, I'm sure I added too much. It is good habit to touch it just once when you are dropping it. So here we've got our screw, here we've got our mount. And I will try to align those screws. And just drop it once. And do not pull because they are going to be air bubbles. And we don't want that. And this piece is pushing those two guys. So it go to the center. Absolutely beautiful. Now let's put back our back plate. And we are going to be pushing those elements into corresponding holes. So it's go like this. We've got it nicely. And now we can push it down. Okay, looks great. So those two were the longest one. Here is our medium one. That's also medium. And the rest looks exactly the same for my eye. But maybe I'm blind. And basically our operation is done. Let me attach charger to our beauty, just like that. We've got the charging indicator. And let's try to power it on. We've got our chime. And I'm very interested whether the YouTube is going to be working better than before. So yeah, let's give it a try. So from what I can see, it is definitely better. Let's take a look. We've got some CPU left. As you can see, idling. Of course, this is horrible low resolution. But for such old machine, I would anyway call it a great success. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you find it interesting. See you next time and bye bye.